Hey guys, we wanted to get this video out quickly because Japan has recently opened its doors to tourists, and there are some changes for the travelers that have taken place since the pandemic. The country has adopted various new policies and undergone some institutional shifts, so we decided to make this video to discuss these recent developments. Thank you for coming back to our channel, or welcome if you're new. On our channel, we share with you all of the amazing places on this planet to put on your bucket list. Without further ado, here we go, 12 new changes that have taken place for visitors to Japan since the country has reopened its borders. Number 1, you're no longer required to be a part of a group tour. The good news for all of you is that beginning on October 11th, 2022, travelers will once again be allowed to visit Japan without the need for participation in a tour group. The Japanese government just announced that the Return Ease Follow-up System, ERFS, is no longer required. The clause limiting foreign tourists to package tours has been repealed, and visa exemption arrangements will be canceled. There is no longer a daily cap of 50,000 new entrants as a direct result of the complete reopening of borders. Airlines have increased the number of flights they offer. More than 60 countries can once again travel to Japan without needing a visa for holidays or business trips of up to 90 days. Number 2, prior visa arrangements are no longer required for most visitors. When Japan first reopened its borders to tour groups, visas were necessary for all people entering the country. However, this is no longer the case. As of October 11th, citizens of dozens of different countries will once more be able to visit Japan without first obtaining a visa, and can get this entry requirement upon arrival. Number 3, quarantine and vaccination requirements. Yes, that's right. You're no longer required to quarantine upon arrival. Yay! Travel insurance is also no longer required for visitors coming to Japan. However, we continue to strongly recommend comprehensive travel insurance to cover any unforeseen problems that may arise. For right now, if you are triple vaccinated, you do not need to take a COVID test before you go to Japan anymore. This may change in the future. Alternatively, if you're not triple vaccinated, you can provide proof of a negative COVID test at least 72 hours before your flight to Japan. Number 4, My SOS app. You should also download the My SOS app on your phone. Yes, the app is rated 1 star in the App Store at the time of this video, but you still need to get it. Once you have it installed, you will see some terms of service, telling you that people who visit Japan will no longer be needed to take a COVID test upon arrival, nor will they be forced to undergo quarantine after entering the country. There are only some basic precautions discussed in the terms, such as wearing a mask and sanitizing hands. Go ahead and agree. After that, you will need to submit your details and register your account. This is basically a location tracking app that updates with your current location at least once every day. Because health authorities might ask for this information, it is also anticipated that location data will be tracked through smartphone mapping applications. Travelers who do not already possess a smartphone capable of downloading the requisite applications will be asked to rent one at the airport at their own expense if they do not already have one. Therefore, as you enter Japan, the app screen will automatically transition into the follow-up mode. You can get assistance with the app once you enter the country too, right at the airport upon arrival. Number 5, business closures and reduced staff. Depending on the tourist business, many stores, restaurants, and bars closed their doors during the pandemic, including the famous Tsukiji Market. The operating hours of some restaurants have been reduced, thus it is essential to call ahead to make a reservation. Keep in mind that there are still very strict regulations regarding COVID exposure in Japan. If someone tests positive for COVID, their coworkers are deemed close contacts and are asked to isolate themselves. This could result in restaurants not having enough staff members. Many restaurants have reduced the number of available seats to preserve social distancing. Be sure to make reservations whenever possible. Number 6, mask mandates and social distancing. Most Japanese people wear face masks outside their homes, so tourists will need to remember that the mask mandates have not been lifted here, like in their home country. Signs posted across the country remind individuals to keep a gap of 6 feet between themselves and others to preserve the social distancing guidelines. Number 7, fewer cash transactions. During the epidemic, many shops began accepting credit cards to reduce contact between consumers and employees. However, it is essential to remember that many places still only accept cash payments. It is possible to obtain Japanese yen from most ATMs in big cities such as Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. However, many machines might not take foreign credit cards. The situation will only become more challenging as you move further into the suburbs and the countryside. You can still purchase or use your old Suica card, IC card, which we discussed in our previous video. Remember, this card is rechargeable at most 7-Eleven stores. The Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry estimates that cashless transactions will account for 32.5% of all transactions in 2021, an increase from the 26.8% figure reported for 2019. Number 8. Reduction in plastic bag usage. Stores have begun charging customers for plastic bags since the pandemic started, about 5 yen or 3 cents per bag. You might want to bring your own reusable bag, or you could buy one once you get there. Many restaurants now use waribashi or disposable wooden chopsticks, but bringing your pair of chopsticks in a carrier is also allowed at most places and can help decrease the amount of waste produced on the road. You can buy these in 100 yen stores, similar to dollar stores in the US, all over the big cities. Number 9. Fewer Chinese tourists. One significant change that will take place in Japan's tourism industry compared to the period before the COVID outbreak is that the country will no longer be able to rely on visitors from China, who made up about 30% of all visitors in 2019. Because of China's protracted implementation of the zero-COVID policy, almost all outbound travel is restricted. Number 10. Food delivery apps and Uber. The epidemic has contributed to a decrease in usage of food delivery apps, alongside the local operator Demekan. Uber Eats has now emerged as one of Japan's 2 most successful platforms. Each app includes a directory of well-known restaurants. It is still against the law to use a private ride-hailing service such as the ones offered by Uber. In major metropolitan areas, the Uber app may call traditional taxis. Number 11. Closure of some famous places and opening of others. Super Nintendo World, a shrine to the Super Mario video games at Universal Studios Japan in Osaka, is now open and is a huge step forward in expanding the offerings available to visitors. The Yokohama Air Cabin Cable Car, located in the Minato-Murai Bay sector of the city, is another recent attraction that has been added for tourists who wish to take in the surrounding area. When it opened in 2021, it was advertised as Japan's first and the world's most advanced urban-type circular ropeway. The ropeway ran 630 meters between a gateway station and the coastline. If you like shopping, the Shibuya Parko and Miyashita Park are now both open and are amazing. There is a new attraction at the Disney Sea dedicated to Beauty and the Beast, so be sure to check it out if you go. Finally, Ghibli Park near Nagoya is open, but the tickets are sold via a lottery system for now, and the deadline for this year has already passed. So if you are interested, be sure to research how to get tickets in advance. As for closures, the 115-meter Ferris wheel in Tokyo's Odaiba waterfront area is now off limits. Team Lab Borderless is also closed for now, but its portion Team Lab Planets is still open and is amazing. The whole Harajuku area has been redesigned, but is still fun to visit. Finally, the Nakajin Capsule Tower and the Sega Arcade have closed, but are being rebranded, so keep checking online if you want to visit these destinations. Number 12. You're no longer allowed to take large luggage on Shinkansen. Our favorite mode of transport across the country, the super fast bullet train Shinkansen, no longer allows large suitcases in its cars. Yes, you heard that right. You can bring carry-on size luggage, which is up to 160 centimeters according to the new rules, with no issues. Larger suitcases measuring 161 to 250 centimeters will require a reservation in advance, or a 1,000 yen fee upon boarding. If your luggage is bigger than that, it is simply not allowed. But we've got you covered. If you travel with large suitcases, you can utilize a service called Yamato Transport, which will deliver your luggage to your destination for a fee. So when are you planning your trip to Japan? Comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, you're definitely going to love this other video from our channel. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want more content like this. See you soon, and until then, bon voyage!